Once upon a time, in the far, far away land of Derbyshire, was Chatsworth, a beautiful house, full of treasures. In the beautiful house there lived a jolly friendly duke, who lived with his jolly friendly family. He was married to a beautiful duchess, and they had 3 beautiful children, and 10 even more beautiful grandchildren at the last count. The jolly friendly duke and the beautiful duchess loved Christmas time so much that every year they asked the hard-working and loyal staff to decorate Chatsworth. Each year they thought of new and exciting ways to make the house extra special and full of magic. Through the spring, summer and autumn they worked hard, making Christmassy bits and bobs to decorate the beautiful house. And then, for 9 wonderful weeks of the year, the jolly friendly duke and the beautiful duchess opened the doors of Chatsworth so that everyone could come and look around whilst it was decorated for Christmas. And every year they asked one of their mythical friends to come and stay for the festive season. This added even more magic to the Christmas theme, and all of the visitors loved to see who was coming to stay each year. One year, Aslan the lion came to stay. Another year, Widow Twankey. And last year, the ghost of Christmas Present. But who would come and see them this Christmas? The hard-working and loyal staff began to scratch their heads, as so many guests had already been invited. "We can't ask the Nutcracker Soldier again," they thought, and Mr. Toad has left the far, far away land of Derbyshire after a run-in with the amphibian water police. And as for Babushka, she hasn't been since she left with the 3 kings, and the Hatter had finally run off with the Dormouse and started a tea room in Enzer. Who, oh, who could they ask? One day, the Chatsworth seamstress, Marie, was sorting through the enormous fairy-light collection on the old laundry passage. Suddenly she stopped her work, as she thought she heard a grumbling noise. She walked down to the end of the passage and into the old laundry, which was a very, very hot room, and listened. Again she heard a grumble, and this time followed by a snort. But it seemed to be coming from the room below. What could that be? Marie thought. She decided to go downstairs to look in the room below. Now, the reason that the old laundry was so very, very hot was because it was above the boiler room. So Marie went into the boiler room and cautiously peered around the door. To her surprise, snuggled up in the corner behind the hot water tank was a young orange dragon, fast asleep on a pile of 18th century curtains that had long since been reported missing. Without thinking, Marie let out a gasp, and the dragon slowly opened one eye. Gently waking up, the dragon looked at Marie and tilted his head to one side. Marie could see that the dragon was just as surprised to see her as she was to see him, and so she smiled at the dragon and said softly, "Hello." The dragon smiled back and a small jet of smoke came out of his nostrils, making the hot water tank bubble up with heat. For a few months now, the jolly friendly Duke had wondered why his baths had been so exceptionally hot, but he'd been reluctant to ring the electricity board in case they increased his monthly instalments. To Marie's surprise, the dragon said, "Hello," back, and so she crept a little closer. She said, "Oh, you can speak English?" And the dragon replied, "Yes, I learnt it from an old leather-bound book that I found in the library. It's called A Dictionary of the English Language by Samuel Johnson." "What's your name?" asked Marie. "Arthur," the dragon said. "I was born in this boiler room in the spring, and it's nearly time for me to fly my nest and look for a job. All dragons look for work once we're old enough, you know. My oldest brother works in a Florida theme park, and my other brother runs Didcot B power station." "Oh," said Marie, "I didn't know that. What would you like to do?" "Well, I quite fancy going into theatre, but I do enjoy sleeping a lot more," replied the dragon. Marie thought for a while, and then told Arthur that she might have the perfect job for him if he was interested. She told him that she would have to go and talk to her colleagues, and that she would be back very soon. Marie went back upstairs to find Susie and Janet, who designed and organised all of the lovely Christmas decorations at Chatsworth. She told them about Arthur, and the two of them were delighted to hear that he wanted a job. "He's just what we need for the North Entrance Hall," said Susie. Grabbing a pen, Janet rushed downstairs with a contract for Arthur, and in a flash all was set for the grand Christmas opening later that year. Arthur spent the next few months sleeping in the boiler room, keeping the jolly friendly Duke's bathwater up to temperature and practising his best sleeping positions. But then, when November came, he moved to his new home in the North Entrance Hall, and there he sleepily welcomes all of the guests who come to visit Chatsworth at Christmas. Of course, since Arthur left the boiler room, the Duke's baths are not so hot, but as he's so jolly and friendly, he doesn't really mind.